So the five benefits to all our participants who have joined us today for the webinar is for us to understand how exactly the off-patent game works and how to actually win this in India. And we have seen this a number of times in the past where we have seen products going off patent and patients as well as the pharmaceutical industry ecosystem getting benefited out of this because the pricing and the accessibility of the medicines increases. The pricing reduces and the accessibility increases. So, we are going to deep dive on this particular topic and we'll be understanding how exactly it benefits the pharma marketeers to play it smartly and in a better way. The benefit for you to also be a part of this particular webinar today till the end of the session, we will be translating a exclusive ebook which is on the conversations that we are going to have with our key speakers. This ebook is not AI generated. This is purely coming from the experience from our key speakers, and this will be shared to you by next week by email. So stay with us till end of the webinar so that you get the benefit. There's also a benefit for you to win a book, hard copy from Subbarao sir. His latest book, which is Code to Cure. It's on digital therapeutics and the future of pharma. And there is an opportunity for you to participate in a self-audit activity. The winners for this particular self-audit activity are the people who will be participating the fastest, and the score will be given to you end of this particular the score will be given to you immediately after you attend the self-assessment activity. The winners will be contacted, the winners will be announced end of the session, and you will be contacted by our team to get your addresses and get the book delivered to your doorstep. So, a little introduction about myself. Myself, Ashish. I am the founder and the CEO of two companies. One is Data Insight and Medgini, which I have established in 2012. I have established with the whole objective of helping pharma industry to connect with the ecosystem of chemists, doctors, and patients. Our work was recognized by Business World 40 Under 40 in 2021. I have also got the experience of working in IT, telecom, and pharmaceutical industry. I did my MBA from Marketing Communication from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management in 2004, and I really love cycling, dancing, and reading. So that's about me. I stay with my parents and my wife and children's in Hyderabad. So I'm so happy to host this particular event, which is the 24th event in association with IDMA. So we are grateful for the association that we are having today with IDMA. Our first speaker for today's session, it's a privilege to welcome Mr. Sudhakar. He is hailing from Powai, Mumbai, with over 21 years of experience in the healthcare sector. Sudhakar is a seasoned pharmaceutical leader known for his strong expertise in sales and marketing. His career reflects a consistent track record of driving growth, building impactful strategies, and delivering results in highly competitive therapeutic segments. In his current role as a DGM, Deputy General Manager at Sun Pharmaceutical Industries, he has successfully led marketing initiatives, strengthened brand positioning, and built high-performing teams. Academically, he holds a Bachelor of Science from DJ Ruparal College, University of Mumbai, and an MBA with a dual specialization in marketing and leadership from Nasimunji Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai. Further strengthening his capability, he has completed a certification in data analytics and AI from IIM Ahmedabad. His hobbies include drawing, nature and forest trails, and photography. His interest also includes talks in sales and marketing, training and research, and storytelling. Above all, he is actively involved with an NGO called Samvedana. He is an executive member and does a lot of social activities through this NGO. Welcome, Sudhakar ji. It's a privilege to have you, knowing you from so many years, and getting you on this particular platform after 2 months of chase is really happy moment for us.
Uh, Firstly, I would say thank you for having me here. Actually, uh, When I saw this invite in my inbox, uh, I was amazed that I got this opportunity to interact with my industry friends,
Same
uh,
here.
and that opportunity has come through you. It's a great moment for me as well. That when we do engaged into various work and which is related to various industry friends, and if that is benefiting them, I think it is win-win for both. So you are into the domain, you are helping us externally, and I think your efforts and our efforts, they are quite symbiotic with respect to establishing products or mega brands in India. So if anything of this sort is helping my industry friends, I think it's a great moment for every one of us. So
Thank
thank
you
you
so much,
so much
sir.
for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much for joining in and for the kind words that you have put us. Our second speaker for today is Dr. Abhijit. Dr. Abhijit hails from Thane, Maharashtra. We welcome you for this particular session. Dr. Abhijit comes with 2 decades of experience spanning across clinical medicines and pharmaceutical industry. It's a rare combination. Not many people actually get into this particular practice of pharmaceutical being a clinical expert. Dr. Abhijit academic foundation includes MBBS, geriatric medicine, and a master in pharmaceutical medicines. Currently leads medical affairs at Indigo Remedies, Mumbai. Dr. Abhijit serves as a vice chairman at Indian Drug Manufacturing Association and is a life member of Indian Medical Association IMA. He has written 130 plus publications and presentations in national and international forums. He is a creative individual with a passion for music and arts, playing musical instruments, drawing cartoons, and writing short stories for children's featured in Sanskar Board. As a co-author of Medical Writing, Simplified Art of Writing Science, his key area of interest includes diabetes, cardiology, drug development, clinical trials, and geriatric medicines. So, welcome, Dr. Abhijit. I'm missing out something. So, please share with us if at all I'm missing out something from your introduction.
No, no, I think you already talk much more about both of us. So I think Ashish, you are doing great work
Thank you, sir.
connecting, medical fraternity as well as marketing, and then the people they are definitely going to understand what exactly they wanted to do. When they launch such kind of product. So definitely Sudhakar also helps or give direction to them what are the things that they should do and what are the things that they should avoid. So that second part is also important. And the plus point about this program is we recently had association with IDMA. So that is, I think, one of the great achievement, and it suddenly happened. Ashish called me, and then suddenly in the morning I got thought, okay, let's collaborate with IDMA. That will help many of the companies, and people to understand such kind of the challenges what they are getting in their routine work. So thank you, Ashish, for creating such kind of platform and doing this program for which will definitely benefit to all of our pharma colleagues.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for joining in. And now we are going to deep dive with your experience. And before that, I would like to give our participants the structure of today's webinar, which we are going to deep dive on the topic of winning the off-patent journey. And the today's topic will be focusing on 3 areas. One is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. It will be more of interaction that we are going to have with our speakers. They will be sharing their knowledge based on the experience that they have gained working across various organizations, various roles, various brands across various territories. And with that, we will be asking the first question to our participants. If we would like to win the off-patent journey, and if your competitors are pricing the product in a similar manner, what you are doing, what will differentiate your brand? If you can please put in your chat, in the chat, what will differentiate your brand if your competitors will match the pricing? So please put in your chat. I request all of you to keep your videos on And please take as many notes as possible, though we are trying to convert this into a ebook format. But a pen and paper is much better for you to recollect, implement the things that we are sharing today. So please be active on the chat. Keep your videos on, keep the notebooks on so that you take as much notes as possible and gain for the knowledge and the experience that we are getting today from our speakers. So if the pricing is the same, what exactly differentiate yourself? So we have some interesting responses coming in the chat. Tanmay says patient-centric initiatives. Raghu says quality of API and products. Great. And we have Sagar says reaching out to the right doctors. So we have so much feedback coming in, novelty in terms of USP, quality and services offered to the patients, initiate new technology, if any. Wow, wonderful, great. So I think the participants are definitely sharing us a lot of valuable inputs because they are coming from pharma marketing background, and we'll be happy to get this knowledge from all of you and also from our speakers. So we have designed a self-assessment activity wherein we invite you to participate in this self-assessment activity to get your readiness score. So I request you to please scan this QR code. We'll be having two winners whom will be giving this particular book, which is a hard copy, which is Code to Cure. It's on digital therapeutics and the future of pharma by Subbarao sir. Subbarao sir is a person whom we follow, and he has been very active in the pharmaceutical industry, and we have read so many of his books. He has served in large organizations like Sun Pharmaceuticals, and currently he is in US, but we read and follow and implement most of his books. So irrespective of whether you are winning today the book or not, I would urge everyone to please buy this particular book and read it, because this is definitely very useful if you are planning something on digital therapeutics, patient support program, patient education program. So, but let's see who is the lucky one. I request all of you to please participate in the self-assessment activity, and the score will also be shared to you on email. And once you are done, please type in done. Right. The first topic which we are going to talk today, which is on segmentation. In segmentation, we are going to talk about two things. So first question that we'll be having with Sudhakar ji. Sudhakar sir, we wanted to understand before a patent expires, what kind of trade marketing insights should companies look at to understand the demand and the pricing for a generic launch? So very recently, we have seen patent getting expired on 21st of March, and we have seen more than 40 to 50 plus companies launching the generic version of the same. So you have experience of the same working across various therapies in Sun Pharmaceutical. I would request you to give us insights on what exactly are the insights that you really look forward before launching a generic.
Yeah, a very, very interesting question, Ashish. And it's kind of a hot cake, I would say. It has been happening for past few years for Indian market. Though we have very recent example of glutides, which is quite handy, and example could be given. But I would just word of caution that I might not pick up any specific brand name or any specific strategy here. I'm trying to give you a kind of an indicators what has happened, possibly not how it is happening for a particular company. Okay, so as you rightly mentioned, when it comes to the demand and the pricing, I would put it in say four buckets. One is say practitioners, another is a pharmacist, and third is a product, and fourth is the people. So while assessing the demand within these four brackets, this is the first level segmentation, I would say, for anyone uh, while approaching any off patent products. While doing the scanning for any company of any size, first and foremost is what kind of product they are into, what kind of a therapy they are operating into, and from there, if it has been finalized that the launch is it's certain, then looking at which company and how many in-license product are already available. That is first surrogate to look into that what is the kind of trade sale any innovator is doing in the market. Have they been selling it through various other partners in India? The span of experience. That is first. Second is, how is the prevalence of that disease? Is it growing? Is it maturing? Is there an indirect competition alongside? Is it this the only category, or there are simultaneously multiple categories evolving? Especially when we talk about diabetes, diabetes has a trajectory where gliptins got patented first, followed by SGLT2s, and today and tomorrow they are largely glutides. Semaglutide now, and probably tirzepatide in the future. And there are a few more in the oral categories which are going to go off patent. So when it is certain that these are the products, I'm talking about largely cardiometabolic products, assessing the demand in the market level, validating that demand at chemist level. If the sale is there, it has been seen, validating at chemist level whether geography level these products are moving and to what extent they are moving. Now, once that has been done, the third thing comes after this is your preparation level in terms of capacity building internally. You have assessed that there is a increased prevalence, there is a positive feedback from doctor side, chemist level validation is being done, you are very certain that product can be launched. Now comes the background working, and this happens largely a year before or 2 years before the actual launch, right from having a good trademark in hand, registering a good trademark for your company. So when I said product, I talked about a practitioner, I spoke about a pharmacist, and then I spoke about a product. Having a good product name is big win, and preparation for that through your allied departments in the company is very, very important. And then comes preparing your own people for this launch, right from training, onboarding, preparing them for a market level win. So these are the four major buckets. Now in this, at different level, different effort will go. Now, say for looking at the numbers of the competition and looking at the past experience of various pharma companies, you would get a sense that how off-patent products behaves in Indian market and what level of opportunity they encash in first few years and with what pricing point. And you have very large number of examples, whether it is gliptins, whether it is anticoagulants, dabigatran, rivaroxaban, or SGLT2s. We know that what level of units have grown after they have gone off patent. And all Indian players have jumped into the launches at various price points, almost at the half the price point of the innovator brands. So that is one way of looking and approaching. But in that kind of a scenario, having almost a similar pricing can't be a strategy. And there needs a differentiator. And that is what I think Ashish tried pushing and you know, asking people what differentiates your product in this herd kind of a mentality where because everyone launches, even I want to launch. And then I remember that a book of Jackie Tai where he talks about 13 killer differentiators, which I'll touch upon if I get a time in due course. But now with respect to demand, I think doctor level feedback, doctor level insights, pharmacist and chemist level insights, product and company level credibility and capability, and then your own field force and accessibility would determine how big, how large, and how competitive product you are going to build. I think this is my broad answer. I think once the people chip in with their questions, I think I would able to elaborate more.
I think the way you have actually simplified this entire discussion around the three Ps, one is practitioner, product, and people, is definitely thought-provoking for all of us. I would invite all the participants to park in your questions in the chat. We will be having an opportunity to take this up one-on-one with our key speakers by around 1 o'clock. If that is okay, please type in okay. And whatever doubts, questions that you would like to ask for the flow, we would request you just to park these particular questions, and we will be happy to take it up. So with that, I have our second question, which is coming for Dr. Abhijit. You have observed molecules uh, that from different segments went off patent in the past couple of years. Do you
Right.
apply the same strategy for actually launching the same if you have been given the responsibility, Dr. Abhijit? Because you have seen the doctor side as well as the marketing side.
Yes, absolutely right. The mistake what the company does, they apply the same strategy for all of patent molecule they are launching. So that is not, frankly speaking, correct. No, I have seen plenty of molecule which become off patent, starting from clopidogrel and then come ticagrelor, which are there in critical segment, as well as the molecule like apixaban, rivaroxaban, and then dabigatran. So they are into critical segment. Then another segment is like heart failure. The best example is sacubitril valsartan, which become off patent. And then anti-diabetic and anti-hypertensive medication like again valsartan, and then anti-diabetic, as Sudhakar already told, gliptin, sitagliptin, vildagliptin, and SGLT2 inhibitor, and now injectable one. So all require different strategy. Try to understand your target customers are different. Their requirements are different. So for ticagrelor, the target customers are interventional cardiologists. So the patients which they are looking, they are totally different. They're suffering from acute coronary syndrome and all. And then we have a limited population. Though the numbers are increasing, but then still we have limited population of cardiologist treating acute coronary syndrome patient. Whereas if you see antihypertensive market, antihypertensive market is totally different. It behaves differently. When your product is going to be off patent, apart from cardiologists, consultant physicians, as well as to some extent general physicians are also going to write your product. So that's why your strategy should be different. Same case will be applicable in diabetes scenario. Initially, because of high price, I cannot write sitagliptin to all my patient. So for that, I'm using teneligliptin or other cheaper options which are available. But my wish to give sitagliptin to my patient, but because of this reason, it is not possible. But now, once the product is becoming off patent, definitely I will pass this benefit of sitagliptin to my patient. So in that way, sitagliptin will never remain a product only pertaining to endocrinologist or top end physician. It will move to even to general practitioner also. So that is how the expansion occur. And then marketing has to design their strategy accordingly. Because strategy will be different for a critical molecule. Strategy will be different for the molecule like antihypertensive or anti-diabetic. Even in anti-diabetic segment, the strategy will be different for SGLT2 inhibitors. Strategy will be different for GLP-1 analog. And then strategy will be different for the upcoming molecule. So that is what is important. You can't use same strategy for all the molecule. So for that, the basic thing what everybody should understand. Try the minimum time which is required for preparation of all strategy. I would like to say minimum 1 year. You should get minimum 1 year. If you are getting more, definitely it is well and good. But then minimum 1 year is required. To first try to understand the therapy in detail. Try to get the help of medical department. Try to understand the molecule in detail. Also my request, try to understand the innovator company in detail. Because there are a lot of things that you should understand. What are the key benefit or what are the strength and weakness of innovator company. The multinational, their major weakness is they have limited field force, which is actually not the weakness of Indian company. So they have limited field force, whereas Indian company, they have large field force. So try to understand the limitations of multinationals also. Then try to understand the limitation of molecule. The limitation could be high cost. That could be the limitation. Another thing is, don't ignore the side effect of molecule. Sometimes because of that side effect, the patients or doctors are not that much keen to write the molecule. But if you provide some solution for the side effect, definitely we can't reduce the side effect, but then by doing proper education, or try to understand why the side effects are there, if you can reduce these incidence of side effect, definitely your product will be a major hit. So that is what we are looking after. The most important thing is, I have seen pharmaceutical industry, they are doing advisory board after launching the product. No, don't do that. Do proper advisory board at least 1 year to 6 months before the product is becoming off patent, and invite doctors. So the ratio should be like 70 to 30%. So 75% doctors should be the user of innovator molecule, and 30% doctor, you can they are not the user of your the innovator molecule. Do discussion, ask them to lot of questions, get more information about them, why they are writing the product, or if they wanted to tell what are the challenges they are facing while using the product, capture everything, and then gather all this information, because this information is definitely going to help you to decide your strategy. Sometimes what happened, the data is not generally in meeting, they will tell us. So see, data, real world data is not there with this molecule, only limited kind of data. So you can make a note of this point, and then once the molecule becoming off patent, you can immediately start some real world experience, or what we call as sometime patient reported outcome study, that also can be thought of. Another challenge with innovator company is like combination. If you see the sitagliptin metformin is only there with innovator, but as a Indian pharma, we can go beyond such kind of formulation like sita, dapamet. So that has to be initiated well in advance with the help of medical department. Because that will create differentiation. So at the end, once the molecule become off patent, you can say, see sir, we have not only we have sita, but we have sita plus met also, and we are coming up with sita plus dapa also. So that will be the additional benefit that marketing should think of. So these are few points. There are many points, but I think these are few points that we should consider. Price is okay, price 10-20 rupees difference here and there, it doesn't create much problem. Another important aspect which I would like to highlight, the innovator company, especially multinational, they have a challenge with pricing. I will give you a simple example. The sacubitril valsartan, the price of 100 milligram tablet, and if you see the sacubitril valsartan price of 50 milligram tablet, there is no much difference. Suppose 100 milligram is costing around 800 rupees, then 50 milligram is costing about 750 rupees. That is what, because they have to obey the global pricing principle. So that is what the challenge is. Then what, our patients, they can't afford such kind of a high cost medicine. Then what we used to do, if I wanted to give 50 milligram tablet to patient, I am telling patient, if you are not affording, what you can do, buy 100 milligram tablet, break it into two, so that it will be cost benefit. So that is what we are doing, because we wanted to pass this benefit to our patient. So when your product become off patent, actually, especially in sacubitril valsartan case, the usage will be definitely will increase, because those who cannot afford this molecule suddenly start using this molecule, and then definitely they are going to see the results. Whereas DPP4 inhibitors, we are because of price, we are using the drug like teneligliptin, but because of price reduction of sitagliptin, definitely for new patient, as we will shift the new patient to sitagliptin, because price is the concern for such kind of therapy. Now, when you talk about critical care product, more than price, the quality is most important. Like the drug like ticagrelor or the drug like clopidogrel, we are more concerned about quality of the medication, because the all these medication they are used after stenting, and then if you go back 10 years back, 10 15 years back, uh, there are bare metal stent, then comes your medicated stent, so the things are changing. The concern is stent thrombosis, that we don't wanted to we don't want that. That's why we are not compromising with the quality of medication. And even the price is on higher side, we are insisting patient ki, please take this medication for at least 3 to 6 months, and afterward if everything is fine, we can shift to other medication. So that is what is required to design the strategy when you are dealing with the off when the
Off
drugs
patent.
are going to become off
Right.
patent.
Perfect. I think very valid points. The points which I probably resonate and I feel the people in the community should start implementing is inviting the advisory board well in advance, at least 1 year in advance. You're talking about talking to them more often, gathering information, strategizing the entire communication plan in a better way, so that you first of all know your customer in terms of doctor profile, their demographics, their patient psychographic in a better way. You have been talking about affordability and accessibility of medicines becomes better when a particular patent expiry comes, and there are many companies who are launching the particular product. But the point which I like the most is basically the quality, which any doctor is very skeptic in terms of first adapting to a product which is being launched by any other company, but he's not too sure whether the quality will be of the same level as what he has been talking about of the innovator product. So this is something which is very, very critical when you are doing your relaunch. You have to be very cautious about communicating quality to your HCPs. So team, can you please mute other participants? Right. So with that, we come to our second question. Surya, can you please?
Doing it, sir.
Right. So with that, we come into the second part of our today's webinar, which is very interesting. We are talking about targeting. Once you have decided that you want to launch this particular product, and we have learned that availability plays a very, very important role. The one question which I would like to ask Sudhakar is how important are chemist and distributor relationship in making patent expiry relaunch successful? We have talked a lot about doctors. Let's look at it from a trade marketing perspective. What are the things that pharma marketeers should be mindful about when they are actually launching their patent expiry products into the market?
Yeah. So I think before I touch this question, I'll just close the previous loop with
Yes.
respect to doctor, where things which one should avoid, as you rightly mentioned, and Dr. Abhijit also tried emphasizing. One is straight away say copying from what innovator is talking, then benchmarking with multiple companies and trying to. I think you're mute, Ashish. You're saying something.
No, sir. I was just instructing my team.
Okay, okay. So one is say copying this thing and benchmarking and trying to get best of all the word like from everywhere, and trying to create in the hasty in the moment of that hastiness. That is one, and taking products to the wrong specialties. Uh, this big mistake happens because there is a rush always, because there are many companies coming. There's a time sensitivity. And in that, many times I have a great example of one of the lipid lowering product, which is non-statin product, which was promoted beyond desired specialty, and there was higher expectation with respect to the numbers in terms of reduction of lipid levels, and there is a large degree of dissatisfaction when the product was used. So few companies moved to the specialist where It was needed. Few companies out of hastiness, they reached to the specialty where it was not needed, and it boomeranged actually. And it is affected both the parties, the one who was reaching to the right customer and the one who was not reaching to the right customer. So these are the areas where I think companies should thoroughly study and reach out to the customer. So that was one which doctor also mentioned in his speech. But quality, whether it is through a bioequivalence, whether it is other in vitro studies, uh, or what are the other parameters by which we can establish quality, which generally a pharma industry demonstrates. Because today's limitation is every other player will talk about bioequivalence. What is that you would talk beyond maybe bioequivalence? I think marketeer should think about it. What is that you would do beyond a basic real world comparison? Have you given a thought before? So all this will come in picture. Then do you have an entire range of product, or you are just doing or managing the situation? I think all these questions should be answered. Otherwise, not having answers to all this is something which is, you putting yourself in a trap before becoming a good product for a company, for you and the industry. And as you rightly said, there are 120 people. If they are attending over, say, next few years, they are going to handle 4 to 5 brands. So I think I'm just simply multiplying, those many products are going to get benefited from the people who are either directly or indirectly handling those products. So 500 odd people uh, indirectly are attending, because one person is going to handle 4 to 5 brands going forward. So I think the future of uh, those 500 brands, I think these insights would be helpful to some extent, is my belief. And to answer your next question, which is with respect to, I guess you were asking me about
The chemist
distributors
and
and
distributor
chemists and
relationship.
retailers, how critical it is. I think it is very, very critical in terms of uh, new launches also, or whether it is off patented launches, or it's even any fresh launch for a pharma company. The distribution network and the retailer equity has played a, a significant role for all big companies. They have ensured that their logistics are supreme. When the product is being launched, the product is already available. When there is a oppetency announced, the day of oppetency, the product is in the shelf. Uh, and this has been managed very, very intelligently by the large number of Indian players. And I think kudos to every one of them, that this has not been a challenge in India today. The logistic networks for various pharma companies is so robust that products are available on day one. And you might have experienced this for semaglutide. So that is not a case, but the case is with respect to liquidation. Then, then not with respect to only metros and B towns, reaching beyond that. The competition is not only remained with district places and the metros. It has moved beyond tehsil places now. Specialists have started practicing even in the rural India. In certain states, there is a mandate for doctors to practice first outside and then come back.
Yeah.
So, with that scenario in mind, chemist and retailer shelves should remain filled. And now I'm just again bucketing the private and the government. So for companies, right from say ESIC, CGHS, MedPlus, Apollos, these are the big ones. These are the big ones to begin with. How am I placed with respect to my presence in this? And then in trade, how well penetrated I am in the trade. Is my person doing one-to-one mapping? One-to-one mapping in a sense, your prescribers and your chemist. And does your chemist keep a desired stock for your product? before you go and launch. An avoidable story is prescription bounce. When your prescription is being generated, is your product available? When I say available, it should be freely available, especially mass level products. Chronic niche products, many times doctor contacts initially, and patient contacts a supplier or retailer, and the contact details are given. But for mass level products, it is not feasible. So having a sufficient stock, having a good inventory, and that equity, a rapport with the chemist, local chemist. I think uh, uh, in your own webinar, I think previously someone has spoken about categorization of the retailers. A good, loyal, adherent, compliant retailers who behaves uh, the as per the law of the land.
Yeah.
They are the important ones, followed by the ones who behaves based on a kind of equity people share from the pharma, and there are third rung of people who do all jugaads, and that 25% of sale, probably that 25% of the sale is at the stake if you do not manage. So I think retailer understanding their gradations, their accessibility plays a very, very important role in such launches. And early wins. And early wins are lot. I mean, they play again an important role in boosting the morale of the players and the field force. Yeah, that
Absolutely.
was.
So I think many points that you have shared in terms of making your product available at chain pharmacy, institutional sales, you're talking about mapping these particular outlets, or more than the outlets, the distribution channel in a better way, and identifying the right doctors as well as the attached pharmacy, and the importance of availability and the accessibility. I think a lot of points have been shared which are practically important for pharma marketeers to look into detail before they are launching their particular product, so that there is no substitution or there is no bounce prescription. That is the main area of concern, especially in terms of off-patent expiry relaunch products. So with that, we have the second questions. There are a lot of questions which are coming in from the participants. If you can see in the chat, we will be definitely taking it up one-to-one with our speakers. The second question which I have with Dr. Abhijit comes here. So, with regard to as a clinician and a pharma expert, what are your expectations from pharma companies when they introduce off-patent molecules to the market?
Okay, so very important question, and which actually decides the success of the molecule, apart from the points what Sudhakar told. So the most important, concern about when the product become off patent is what kind of quality they are offering. Because in my mind, I am using innovator product which is of premium price, and suddenly the pharma companies are coming to me and saying, boss, this is now it become off patent, and then now the product is of almost less than 50% of the price. So the first thing which comes to my mind is about quality, whether it will be of same quality or not. So pharma should put lot of efforts to ensure this communication has to be gone properly to the doctors. So the from where they are manufacturing the product, whether they are following all the norms which innovator are following or not. Then the quality parameter, then bioequivalence study. See, most of the thing what I have seen, they are just putting the graph in the visual aid, saying ki our drug is bioequivalent to that of the innovator drug. That is okay, but and then at the end they have mentioned data on file. So data on file has got no meaning. Frankly speaking, try to put the try to publish that data in some good journal, peer review journal, and then use that data, give reprints to doctors, so that that will actually help to build the confidence. Another thing is the equivalent study, like a clinical study, what generally we say. So this is bioequivalent and then clinical. So clinical also we should do, and then we should propagate or communicate properly to doctors. So these are the important thing. Most of the time, what we heard, the marketing, they always talk about the efficacy part of the molecule, also try to communicate safety aspect of the molecule. I will tell you the reason why. Because when the molecule become off patent, it has been used by many doctors, not only your KOLs. It has been used by your town second town doctor, or the doctors who are practicing at periphery. For that, communicating this safety part is very, very important. Don't say this molecule doesn't have any side effect. If it is there, please tell them well in advance and how to take care of this side effect. Don't worry, don't get panic about the side effect, because side effect is there with every molecule. No molecule in the world is without side effect. So side effect is there, but see the benefit. And then if you communicate this properly to doctors, what happened, when they get some side effect from the patient, they will assure patient is, see, this is what is happening, or this will happen with this molecule, but don't worry, it will disappear, or you have to take some precaution. And because the benefit what you are going to get is much more in terms of side effects, so don't worry about side effects. So passing right information, it is very, very important. Sudhakar also touch upon going, the failure. One of the reason for failure is going to wrong customer. That is also important. So my suggestion is, your promotion should be as per the approved indication only. The reason being, the dose, the duration of the therapy, everything is documented for approved indication, which is not documented for unapproved indication. So though, and the important challenge what the sales and marketing is facing. Suppose if in my practice, if I use some molecule which is off patent, and unfortunately if I get some side effect, now I will not blame molecule, I will directly blame brand. So that is what the challenge, because the clinician, they are not well versed about this branding and then molecule. So you see, it's like, I am using one particular brand innovator molecule since 2 3 years, and suddenly I start using the off patent molecule from XY company, and suppose if I get any side effect, I will not blame molecule, I will directly say, see, the company's product is is not good. So and then once it's there in my brain, or it's there in my mind, now I will very much hesitate to write the same product again. Another important challenge, what I've seen is, especially in chronic segment, like diabetes and then hypertension. Initially the product is available, but suddenly there's no stock in the market. And mind you, if chronic segment, if the product is not even available for a week, or 1 month, please consider you have to relaunch the product. It is
Okay, I think the video got freeze
Yeah,
from
pause.
Dr. Vijay.
Yeah, but what he was trying to communicate was having product available,
Yes.
even for chronic products where there is a availability in the beginning, and then there is a drop in terms of availability.
Absolutely. The
Yeah,
points
so
which actually resonate in the discussion, what Dr. Abhijit was sharing is one, the quality of the product has to be well communicated by the pharma marketer to the doctors. And the second thing is basically you have to talk about your bioequivalent study in a louder and in a more upfront manner to the doctor rather than just stating that it is bioequivalent study. And we are talking about side effects, which has to be clearly communicated to the doctors and passing the right information and not going to the wrong doctors. So that is something which is very important. Many a times we focus on going to as many doctors, but it is also important that you go to the right doctors. So Dr.
right.
Abhijit was sharing very practical insight on this expectation as a clinician and as a pharma expert. If you want to make your product successful, these are the things that you need to note down and please implement, because this comes from experience and this is definitely useful if you actually implement. And the one thing which
Uh,
I really like about what he was telling is that it takes years for you to build a reputation, but it also takes seconds for you to lose your reputation. So please be very mindful about sharing information to your HCPs in the clear, more transparent manner so that they support you in case of need. There is any repercussion, they support you because you have passed on the right information at the right time to the right doctor so that he is aware about the same. So I like what exactly Dr. Vijit says. And with that, Dr. Vijit, we missed you in between. Can
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. So, addition to that, generally what happened when innovator launch, like multinational, they launch the molecule, they do a lot of conferences. They take, session in various national conferences, and then they try to educate the healthcare professional. But also try to understand is the most of the national conference, the top KOL they attend, and when the molecule become, off patent, it has been used by many other doctors also, and generally they don't attend national conference, may be difficult for them. So after doing a particular CME or RTMs are very very important in such kind of situation, because they are not aware about the molecule, the new molecule which become off patent, because they don't attend conference. So that is also important, to pass the right knowledge. Passing right knowledge is important, because if they don't have right knowledge, they may land up with some a lack of efficacy or some safety issue, and then that actually creates bad impression, especially for pharma. So that also we should consider while launching your off patent molecule.
Right. So, so fortunately, we have our previous speaker, Manas Das sir from Sun Pharmaceutical. No, he's an independent consultant. He would like to ask any one question. Can he please ask it to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Manas Das sir, can you please unmute?
Yeah. Hi, Sudhakar. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, Dada. Good to see you here. Pleasure.
Yeah. Sudhakar, because see what we see, because like my experience in working in this specialty is absolutely poor. Maybe in 1990s that we had launched, 785 that we had launched sulfin-pyrazone,
Correct.
Anturan that time, and
Correct.
then sometimes we have worked on some of the products.
Correct.
See, there are lot many people are talking too many things in LinkedIn or any other forums, and I believe many of them are the repetitions. People
Okay.
are talking on the pros, but one of the very big cons, because in my last 2 weeks, I was having sessions with senior field manager level. There is a lot
Okay.
of discussions on this. What I understood, one of the primary thing, I don't know, you need to correct me, because Sudhakar, I have a lot of respect for your knowledge level. That's why you are there, so I'm asking. 2 to 8 degrees centigrade, is it possible for all the 53 companies to manage this in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities? Number one. Number two, you spoke about CGHS, ESIS. Do you think all these places, is it possible to manage 2 to 8 degrees centigrade? These are two of the queries that I have. I don't have any doubts about, as you said, that you will not take the brand name. I will not take the name of the companies. But I'm sure 2, 3 companies will have the capability. But even in 2, 3 companies, I have seen, I used to sell a product. I will not tell again the name and or the molecule, but that was very important product in for gastrosurgeons. There also you are struggling to have these 2 to 8 degree in many locations. So that is my query. How do you look at it?
Very rightly, uh, right question rather, I would say, for this forum, and the kind of products now becoming available. Now, say out of these 50 players, there were quite a few players which were already operating in insulins, or they were handling such kind of products. So they get that edge of having that logistic thing available for them. There were few companies that were indirectly operating and dealing with such kind of products. So if I have to mention, 25% of the population, I would say, companies, they would effectively able to say that they have this uh, kind of system in place which is manageable.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sudhakar, in fact, I was talking to, during my visit last week to Chennai, Apollo, I was interacting with one of the top physicians,
Correct.
right? That was just out of the way. And he named me, as you said, 25%. He named me 7 companies where he feels that these are the 7 companies where we can rely upon. So it is his information, my understanding, and your feedback is almost matching. So is it not very important for a product like this, whether from 12,000 to 3,000, that is immaterial. But when we are treating, then we need to choose the product from the right company. That's what I feel is important.
Yes.
Very well said. Well said, Dada. Well said. And
Dr. Abhijit,
it is
Yes.
not only from the cardiology and diabetes window. The organizations have, say, various research going on and various depot preparations. They are available. They have capacities already built in. Might not be knowing to the cardiologist and diabetologist, but known to the other specialty. And now they will leverage it here. So though might not be having insulins as a offerings to the doctors and patients
yeah,
at present, but a few companies, despite they are not present in the segment of insulins, they have similar products in other segments which would come handy, and their supply chain will come handy for this kind of a product.
Excellent, Sudhakar. Sudhakar, I'll just take a leave of you. Nice seeing you after a long time. But very soon we'll be again meeting. We'll be seeing each other in some different forums.
Perfect, Dada.
Maybe one
I
or two
love that.
months' time.
I
Chalo.
love that.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ashish.
thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
doctor.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
And
Thank you.
we appreciate the input which we have just got from Sudhakar. With that, I think the second part, the last leg of today's webinar, which we are talking about positioning, right?
Yeah.
So in positioning, we are talking about one question which we would like to ask Sudhakar. Can you share an example of a successful generic launch in India, which you have seen from your experience, that has made it really successful, or I can say that particular strategy has worked for that particular company or for that particular molecule? Over to
Okay.
you.
Okay. And another interesting question. And in the meantime, I think Tanmay Thakkar posted one question. I'll answer that question after this, Tanmay. He has asked exactly on the and it's a counter question from the innovator end. I think it is very interesting question. Another interesting question, and I'll answer that as well. But prior to that, any example, or there are many examples rather. I would say I will not again. I mean, as Manasda said, will not speak about the product in isolation. We'll speak about many successful category of products and many companies, Indian companies, getting benefited immensely. A few companies have dared to launch before of patency. They have challenged the law of the land and in the interest of the patients, because patient centricity is something for which every pharma company is working. The end result is giving the benefit to the patient. And for that, if I have to tweak a bit, I think people are able to tweak that, and they are challenged sometimes and making products available ahead of it's kind of infringement sometimes, but I'm not proposing that infringement as a obedient marketeer here. Uh, yeah, I'm working for one of the reputed tag. So what is that is working for pharma companies to make products successful? One is, I'll go just one by one. Many products have become successful. Gliptins have become successful. Dapagliflozins have become successful in India when they have become off patent. Ticagrelors have become successful when they have gone off patent. Rivaroxaban have become successful. Dabigatrans have become successful. Now glutides are going to be successful. It is my very big confidence on glutides. And there are going to be many successful beyond this spectrum. Uh, to tell you. Now, what is that is working for Indian pharma companies? One is, Indian pharma company is considered as a pharmacy of the world. India has a reputation that is established because India is supplying large number of products to UK and US. Many companies today from India having their 40-50% of sales happening in US, in UK, in Japan and China. So when I have a reputation globally as a company, I actually compete with the innovators that way. Now, with that confidence, when I enter these markets, how much is the window available for me to announce the products? What is the lead time I get? What is my surrogate strategy to indirectly communicate that I'm going to join this race? And how early I do that? From there, I hope you are getting, guys, what I'm trying to communicate.
Very
So,
good.
so from there, announcement is something, and it might not be direct announcement. It probably a surrogate announcement. From there, I think blocking of a good trademark is a huge advantage. I think I touched this before, but I think for Indian pharma company, when there is a gamut of, sometimes it is 100 brands also, more than 100 brands, majority of the times. And in that, your trademark getting lost is the highest probability, is one of the highest probability. So having that unique proposition in your hand is another a win, I would say, a silver lining in the story when you launch the product. Now, Dr. Abhijit has a very nicely gave you the message. All these products who have become successful over the period of time amongst the generic lot, they already had either a comparison in the form of bioequivalence data or other in vitro studies, whether it is a platelet inhibition, whether it is a form of the drug, whether it was a phase 3 trial of their own, which tells that what innovator provides, I do provide. And that too almost at either half the cost or even lesser than that. So same proposition with a strong confrontation when there is a doubt raised by the innovator, and I'm answering this to Tanmay as well simultaneously, and he gets the answer. Typically, in this situation, innovator becomes very proactive and very pro, and he starts setting the doubt. He creates a literature with few generics, which are maybe the lowest run companies, which are not even registered, listed companies, not even publicly limited companies. They are privately held companies. They pick up the products. They are made in Baddi or Solan or somewhere Himachal. They pick up the products. They compare with generics, a group of generics. They prove that the the concentration reached in certain period of time is poor. Cmax is not good. Half-life is not good, and the safety wise it is deteriorating, as a condition of the patient, and it is not a good product. And why are you putting your patients in risk when you have this my product with reduced price? So same lucrativeness of the product at almost half the price, sensing that now Indian companies are joining the race, innovator will bring down the price. He will start setting the doubts and making the proposition more lucrative also by bringing the patient support program, so that patients are well tagged with the products. So innovator has always applied these kind of strategies when products are off patented. This is
Absolutely.
the ones which are known to the industry. Uh, if at all we get to connect sometimes later, I think considering the time sensitivity, I'm not dwelling much on any specific aspect of it. But I think Indian companies have done that. Beyond that, they have made the stakeholders, the doctors, as part of their strategy. Right from the beginning, they involve the doctors, they make them part of their advisory boards, they involve them, they take their inputs so that your key opinion leaders do not run away from your product because they are part of your story right from the beginning. and you ensure that they are supporting you.
Absolutely.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
True. So I think a very valid point. So we have the last question for today's webinar, which is coming to Dr. Abhijit, which is from your perspective, what are the one key decision in a launch that has made a very big difference? You have a huge experience. You have seen many brands launching. So please tell from your perspective.
Actually, Ashish, I am also searching the answer for this question, because there is no single a factor or which actually helps to make the product successful. No, it is not a single factor. It's basically a collective work. It's a teamwork. Starting from selecting the right off patent molecule. See, most of the time, what happen, you sometime, or first thing, what I always suggest, ki first introspect ourselves whether I can able to launch such kind of off-patent molecule. Whether, see, launching is easy, anybody can launch, but whether I can sustain in that market, which is most important. So try to do introspection, whether it is possible, and if possible, at what cost. Do risk benefit analysis by your own. If not possible, please don't launch the molecule. I have seen companies, by over enthusiastic, they launch the product, and then if you see 1 year, 50% of the company, they are not there in the market. They're gone.
True.
And there's a much higher impact on sales and marketing. As well as sometimes the division also, they have to shut down. So please introspect yourself whether you have that capability or not. If you don't have capability, please build up the capability well in advance. So that is what is required, and then definitely do well homework prior to launching molecule. I have seen companies, they are start preparing themselves just 1 month prior to launch the molecule. No, that is not at all the good strategy. You have to you have to do brainstorming, you have to work, because a lot of teamwork is required for such kind of product launch. Then consistency, quality, everything is important. Educating doctors to second or third level, that is also important. Educating your medical rep, which is also important. How confidently they speak in front of doctors, because sometimes if they ask doctors ask some question, they go to back foot. So that also you need to train them. So training, then your R&D, marketing, sales, and everything should be properly aligned with your strategy. So it is not a game of a single person, or a single thing which I can tell you, you do this and then you will be successful. No, it is not possible. So it's a collective efforts, and the consistency is
Yes.
very, very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So with
completely,
that,
completely agree with the doctor. And from my previous answer, I couldn't cover two, three elements where, like, uh, uh, see, giving an experience of your product and sampling, whether it allows, if your structure allows decent sampling, and making doctor and the patients experience the product,
yeah,
and that generates a lot of uh, buzz around
acceptability.
the product. So that is one. And also uh, we say in the data uh, terms that RW, but more than RW, I think even inputs from all the stakeholders who are selling the product, consuming the product, writing the product, all this, and the caregivers, especially caregivers.
Right.
So in the
So
ecosystem, their inputs are very, very valid in the early stage of product launch.
right.
True.
So I think Ashish, just somebody raise a question about keeping that product in the range of 2 to 8 degree Celsius, which is very, very important. So by considering this, I am looking from different angle. If pharma companies ensuring at different level and saying, doctor, see sir, for this product, for best efficacy and safety, you have to maintain between 2 to 8 degree, and we are taking all the efforts to ensure that the product will be remain in that 2 to 8 degree. Also at chemist end, we are providing them the full support. Even we are guiding patients also, if they are going to consume, please keep this at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. So that can be used as a one of the additional part, or that you are providing, which other companies are not sometimes aware also, in
Absolutely.
the communication. And this is what the maybe winning strategy for you people, to say ki boss, if the temperature is not maintained properly, whatever drug you are going to use, it is not going to help you. So we are making as a as we are concerned about patient safety also, as well as the efficacy of molecule. We are taking care of this 2 to 8 degree at every step till the product get delivered to the patient. So something like that, if you can design a strategy, that will be helpful. So this is called as patient support kind of strategy that differentiate your brand from other company.
Absolutely. So, with that, we come to the end of the webinar, but the questions which are being asked, we will definitely be happy to take this up with the speakers. I would also like to announce the winners for today's webinar. The first winner for today's contest is basically Mr. Prasad Munkar. If you can, team, can you please spotlight Mr. Prasad? And the second winner is Mr. Tanmay. Tanmay has been very active. He has been a regular participant to our webinar. Congratulations, Mr. Prasad, Mr. Tanmay. And yes, so there are interesting questions which are coming in from the participants. And with that, we would also request you to please give us a feedback on the quality of the webinar that you have seen today. We are very mindful about the topic that we select because we do only one webinar in a month, and that is purely to understand the industry in a better way, their needs, challenges, problems, and the aspiration. And we are also mindful about the speakers who are relevant for that particular topic so that you get the best value from the session. But still, there might be some gaps. We would definitely fix it up and make ourselves better. Please scan the QR code, give us a feedback on how you felt about the webinar, the quality of the content, and the relevance to your business. And we will definitely try to improve upon that. Team, can you please put in the link for giving the feedback for the webinar? Yeah, thank you so much, Inderjeet. Yes, if you can please put on the feedback on the link will be of use to us as well. Thank you. So a background about Medgini. Medgini as an organization, we have started with the whole objective of helping pharma companies to connect with chemists and doctors. We have a strong database of 7.5 lakh doctors and 5.5 lakh chemists. We have been helping pharma companies in 4 areas. One is awareness, availability, visibility, and accessibility. So we have been crafting solutions which are helping you to engage with doctors, chemists, patients, in a better way, and helping you do your particular business in a larger manner. And we are serving not only doctors but also pharma companies and chemists. We also have an initiative for the chemist where we do monthly webinars for chemists, which is purely for their particular business related to inventory management, cash management, customer relationship management, in terms of understanding how to increase their profitability. So this is our contribution to the chemist community, which we have been doing it on a regular basis. And with that, we come to end of this webinar, but we will be taking up the questions, so please hold on. And we will also be sending the ebook for all the people who are there with us by email. So we'll be sending that by next week, Wednesday. And we are physically present in Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Bangalore. If in case you would like to talk to us, meet us, our team will be very happy. Please reach us out and we'll be happy to connect with you. As a token of thanks, Dr. Abhijit and Mr. Sudhakar, my team would like to give you the book, which is from Subbarao sir, which is Code to Cure, which is of use to your practice as well. My team will be reaching out to you. And on behalf of IDMA, Indian Drug Manufacturing Association, and the entire team at Medgini, we would definitely like to thank you for your time that you have spent with us today, for sharing the knowledge and all the practical insights that we have got today, which is of use for the pharma marketeers for leveling up their particular game. So, with your permission, can I take certain questions which are buzzing in the chat?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
Yeah, great. So, we have one question from Arun Walfa. So, in case of generic launches, brand names and brand names end up being the same. Also, positioning of the molecule remains the same. Is the trick to have unique name and launch with a entire patient support system a better idea? How far can a support system go? Can we look at creating a patient support system which goes beyond the brand? So long term, can pharma companies transform into a care partner for patients? So, Dr. Vijit, would you like to take this up, or Sudhakar
Yes,
sir?
yes. No, I will give you the best example which we did. Maybe of 4 5 years back. So we launched a molecule in anticoagulant segment, and then the major challenge or doctors, they are not taking up the molecule. The one of the major challenges, they are worried about bleeding with this molecules, and it is typical what we call as NOAC, newer oral anticoagulant. Because if you see older oral anticoagulant, we have an antidote which is available, that is vitamin K, which is easily available and very cheap, and we can reverse the action of the molecule very fast. But then when we launch this NOAC, the major challenge is the worried about bleeding, and if bleeding occur, there is no antidote readily available. Antidote is available, but it's not easily available, and it is very costly. So what we did, we started this some kind of patient support program. And if there's a bleeding occur because of our not only our any molecule, in the sense, in that category, like, so, let me give you example, dabigatran. If the bleeding occur because of dabigatran, and if doctors communicate with us during that situation with all the supporting documents, like whether in patient's name, and then how the bleeding occur, what could be the tentative reason, and then on and with all this facts and figure, we are providing that antidote free of cost to the patient. So initially patient has to pay, but then we are reimbursing that patient. So that actually builds a lot of confidence in doctors. So then the our molecules start picking up, and then without much challenges. So because doctors are sure, suppose anything happened, the bleeding especially, just contact this your company, then they provide the antidote with free of cost, and they are not restricting only to related to their brand, but if it is occurring with the molecule, they are reimbursing. So that actually build a lot of confidence among doctor, and then we got good boost in our brand. So that is something, you have to go beyond brand. Don't restrict yourself to, no, if the doctor cites only my brand, and if he gets side effect, then only I am going to reimburse. No. So this is something called as beyond brand, or we are touching up the humanity, something like that. And because the bleeding, we are not going to get every time, but if it happens, then we are there to support you. So this is the confidence what we brought across healthcare physicians. I know many of the time I used to talk with them regarding bleeding, to ensure whether it is because of drug or because of some other reason. And then once I said, okay, our marketing team helping that sales as well as marketing team helping that doctor to get the antidote on time. So that is something that you can also do.
Very well covered.
Absolutely.
I think very well covered. I think, and the question itself was very brilliant question, I would say. Uh, that the trend is towards that. I think Indian companies are picking up the trend around the patient centricity, and the transformation has begun. And with the kind of molecules India is receiving, this is going to go further. Now, within that, are we able to differentiate? Now that remains the question, because on one side, you said brand differentiation vis-a-vis now the process, uh, and other physical evidence differentiations. The people, process, we say no, the 4 Ps, and beyond there are 3 Ps now. And in that also, there is a differentiation.
True.
Are we able to bring that differentiation? And with respect to product, in the beginning, I was mentioning the product differentiation within that promotion. Still, we have a lot of differentiating points, like whether it is a sales leadership, whether it is a technology leadership, whether it is your brand performance leadership, whether it is how the product is made, where the product is made, whether it is attribute leadership, whether it is opposite side of the story, whether it is the preference, or whether it is a heritage. What kind of differentiation you bring to the table through your product, through your company? I think a lot of depth needs to be achieved by marketeers uh, in this window, with this particular aspect of uh, marketing, communication, especially communication, copywriting.
Absolutely. So I think Yugal question was something similar on what you are trying to address here. Sudhakar sir, you were talking about differentiation. So Yugal was asking how can medical team differentiate and add value to the HCPs versus the originator medical team post the exclusivity period of the originator, trying to understand here the cross-function role in the loss of exclusivity. So this is something which Yugal was trying to ask here. And there is one more question which is coming up. So there are many questions. With the paucity of time, I can take few questions, but I'll be very happy to connect Sudhakar as well as Dr. Vijit to all of you. We will be sharing their LinkedIn profile. Please connect to them, and we will be more than happy if you can continue this particular journey of getting insights from their experiences. So there is a last question which I would like to randomly take, but many questions I am not able to take. Sorry for that. But please continue to get in touch. Team, can you please put in the LinkedIn profile of both Sudhakar sir as well as Dr. Abhijit sir? So the last question which is coming is basically from it's from Alok. And Alok says that in India, what matters more for success, scientific evidence or execution? Sudhakar sir, what do you like to say on this?
See, in India, now the expectation of doctor is the evidence. Do you have Indian evidence? One is access is given. I think for companies like 100 years presence, like, I mean, and again, I don't want to take a name. There are number of players. They have been operating over, say, 70 years, 100 years now. But do they have their own products? There is a question mark. Do they have their own evidence? There is a question mark. So I think Indian companies have to evolve. There are few players, they have launched their own products and they have gone beyond the boundaries globally. So there is a beginning somewhere. There's a beginning, and I think if we generate a decent Indian evidence, I think we would be uh, nicely competing and having an ecosystem that fights back, or rather, I would say, help patient largely, and join hands along with multinationals to serve Indian patients better.
Absolutely. So it's basically the confidence which the HCP has on your particular product, which will make you more successful. And that is the success mantra, which we have seen a lot of companies implementing the same. And with that, we come to the end of the webinar, but the journey continues, and we will be having next session in the month of April. We'll be announcing the dates and the topics very shortly. So that's why your feedback really matters to us. Please give in your feedback in terms of what is the topic that resonates to your business, and based on which we will be trying our level best to find the best of the best speakers from the industry to give the insights to us. With that, we come to the end of the session, and I would like to thank once again to all of you who have spent their time on the weekend as well as the end of the financial year to be there with us. And thank you, Dr. Abhijit. Thank you, Sudhakar ji. Thank you, Medgini team.
Thank you so
Thank
much, everyone, for patience listening. It was one of the fantastic event, I would say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Dr. Abhijit.